up, everybody? This is Robert Ferguson. Yes, Roberto Lorenzo Ferguson. And I am excited and delighted to be with you live as we're going to have a really fun conversation. Now, if you're new, I want to say thank you for being here. We're going to talk about many things around health. We're going to talk a little bit about inflammation, insulin resistance. We're going to talk about gallbladders, maybe even gallstones, and how you can improve overall health and make losing weight so much easier. And when I say easy, I'm talking about being able to eat regular food that you like, enjoy, food that you love, and still lose weight. So when does it get any better than that? And many of you, if you're new to us, you're like, wait a minute, how is that even possible? Well, to help me share information today, we have one of our nutritionists, weight loss, a diet-free life coach who is helping quite a few people do exactly what we're going to talk about today. So without further delay, there she is. They call her Susie Lopez.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Robert.
Don't mess it up and think it's J-Lo. It's Susie from San Bernardino.
Yeah, I was going to say from San Bernardino.
Yeah.
How is everybody doing? Hi, Robert. Thank you for having me on here. I'm really excited about what we're going to talk about today.
Well, good. Well, you're coming through loud and clear. So before we dive in, if you don't mind, introduce yourself to everybody. Kind of just let them know who you are, what you do, and we've made your website available so that if someone wants to contact you, they can 100% do that.
Absolutely. My name is Susie Lopez from San Bernardino, and I'm a coach. I'm a nutrition and weight loss coach. I teach the diet-free life methodology, one that you already may be familiar with because of Robert. And I'm just so excited for where I am right now, with my clients and just coaching in general. I am doing recently completing an 8-week fat loss challenge with a church group, and that's gone so well. We've made a lot of discoveries in people's health and where they are, and then just working with everyday people, working with clients. This is just an exciting time for me, you guys, because I love helping people. My passion is just helping others. So I'm excited to be here and just to share more information and just maybe some experiences.
Okay, well, there you go. Now, if I go in and out, you guys, we're having a little technical difficulties over here today. So when I put my hands up, I'm in focus. And then sometimes when I don't have my hands in, I don't know if I'm fighting with the mic and it's throwing me out of focus. But if that happens every once in a while, I just go like this, Susie, and I'll go, oh, that means I'm out of focus.
Got it. Yes.
All right. So I mentioned in the blurb that we were going to talk about losing weight, reducing inflammation, improving overall health, and just really answer any questions that people have. And then we may talk about the gallbladder, because as you and I were discussing earlier, you have seen quite a few people experience losing their gallbladder, many people experiencing gallstones. I don't know if you've ever experienced someone getting gallbladder cancer.
I haven't.
Okay. I mean, that's rare, but it does happen. So maybe we'll end up there. But let's start off by just kind of giving people a basic understanding of what we mean when you can eat foods that you love, like, and enjoy and still lose weight. And let's go back to the fact that you lost over 50 pounds.
Right.
And you kept it off. And let's go back to because you first met me on one of my infomercials, right?
I sure did. Yes. This was years ago. Yes.
So what was your experience? Because I was on the infomercial telling people, hey, you can eat the foods you love and lose weight. Now you went on to do it, but what was it like when you first saw me on TV saying that? Did it seem like unbelievable, or were you just gullible and say, you know what, let me just order this product and see if it works?
To be quite honest, and this was over a decade ago, and I was in a very different place in my life, totally different place, but I was in a very frustrated, defeated, depressed state. And I was just up one night, and here comes out, Robert Ferguson saying that you can have pizza and lose weight, and you can have tacos and lose weight. And I'm thinking, and really, I had never attempted any kind of diet or nutrition or weight loss program before. I just knew that I was very unhappy with where I was and I needed to do something. So when I heard you speak that night, it made complete sense to me, the way you explained it. And I thought, hey, I've never tried anything, but this sounds like something I can do. If I can still eat tacos and still lose weight. I mean, you got me there. So I think that's where most people, come in and they look at what we're saying and they're like, there's no way. Like, how can you eat pizza and eat tacos and tortillas and rice and still lose weight? So it can come across as unbelievable.
Well, this is a good conversation to have because there are some people who still are having a hard time believing it. Because when people think about losing weight, they think about what they have to give up, what they have to restrict themselves from, what they have to avoid. And it can't be that easy that you can still have pasta and pizza and chili rellenos and eat regular food and lose weight. And of course, everybody's uniquely different, but you are someone who did that. Fast forward over 10 years, you're now a coach and you're helping other people.
Absolutely. Yes.
Now, for
Yeah.
those who are catching us, if anyone is catching us live or even a replay, and you first met me 10 plus years ago on TV, and now we're Facebook friends or we've connected on YouTube, throw a little comment in there, let us know. And if you lost weight, let us know how much weight did you lose. That would be fun to hear, right? To see people post.
Yes.
Okay, so for all of you people who are like, wait a minute, how are you able to eat all that? Susie did it. Now she's coaching other people how to do it. It is not a conventional, traditional diet. It really is a lifestyle approach where you can learn how to eat. And correct me if I'm missing it on this, Susie, because I like to say that more when someone says, so what is the program? Like, how does it work? You actually learn how to eat.
That's
Like
right.
when you hear that, do you think people get insulted because they feel like, what do you mean learn how to eat? I know how to eat.
No, absolutely. Yeah. I think it goes in different ways. Some people do get insulted and they feel like whatever knowledge or whatever they know about food or nutrition, it's like, oh, what do you mean? I don't know anything kind of thing. And then there's other people that I've met that are like, no, I want to learn how to eat. I don't know how to eat. That's what I need to know. So I think it just depends on where the person is.
Yeah, because we're not here to insult people.
Right.
We're here we're all about education.
Absolutely.
Education. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I can say that's exactly what's happened in my journey is I've come from no education. I had no background. I didn't know anything. And I've learned so much. I've applied. Like you said, I went on to lose 50 pounds. I've kept it off. And it just really, really set me on fire to now help people because I did it and I know it's possible and I know it's doable. And so here I am. Here I am coaching.
Well, it's like talking to you who have lost 50 pounds doing what we're talking about. We could bring on quite a few people who have lost 20, 50, 100. The most weight loss I've helped someone lose is right under 275 pounds. Doing exactly what you're teaching people, exactly what I teach people, right? Exactly what you've done, exactly what I do. And because people have a hard time believing you can eat practically whatever you want to eat, but learn to eat it in a way where you get these results. And not only are they losing weight, but we're talking about improving overall health.
Yes.
And some people will still do nothing. There are people who I'm coaching, I haven't talked to in 3 weeks. You know how some clients disappear for a while?
Yeah.
And then they put on some weight. To me, that's a lack of humility because all you got to do is call your coach or send an email. Hey, I have a few things going on for the next 3 weeks. I'll be back. I mean,
Right.
that's just courtesy. But people get embarrassed. They feel like they have failed and they have this tape rolling in their head, right? This internal dialogue that actually is the thing that's blocking them from being successful.
Yes. Yes,
So,
mindset is a big part of all of this, and like you're saying, sometimes people just they feel guilty. They feel guilty about not doing what they told themselves they would do, and I think all of that just really blocks our it really just blocks our own success.
mhm.
Um, so, yep.
All right, well, let's talk about something that you have learned and learn more about as it pertains to inflammation, insulin resistance, dry skin, dry eye, fatigue, skin rashes, menstrual cramps. Uh, the list goes on and on.
It does.
And that is that and I want you to be real honest, because there's people who are, I want you to be well, you're always honest, but I want you to be transparent. Like,
Okay.
put it out there. You're not going to hurt my feelings.
Okay.
Because when I discovered this company and this at-home testing that is now available, that is all framed around understanding omega-3 fatty acids and the ratio of omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids. The fact that you can find out exactly where you are at home, and the fact that you can take a supplement that is food-based, that's very unique, for 4 months, the life of a red blood cell, and you can do a test again to see that your product or this product actually works, right? So they can feel it, they can see it. Sometimes certain things improve, but then you have the efficacy in place where you do a test and looking at your red blood cell, right? Your cell membrane, you can see if the product works. And guys, everyone out there, I'm telling you, if we talk long enough, it'll feel like a conspiracy, because you will wonder, why isn't everyone aware of this?
Yeah.
Everyone will benefit from knowing what we're about to talk about. Everyone. Okay. So that being said, what I did, everyone, is I first went to my mom and I went to some of my clients. I asked if they would be part of an experiment as I was doing my due diligence to see if this product is what it is. I met with the founders of the company. I met with the scientists behind the product. I met with some of their main leaders and executives. So as I was doing that, I got my mom, other family members, some of my clients on the product. We did the test. And then I went to Susie and 19 other of our coaches. So when I came to you, Susie, and I said, hey, there's a product that you're going to see me talking about. There's a test. I believe it's a great opportunity for you guys to become even more knowledgeable about omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids. What was your initial thoughts when I brought it to your attention?
Okay. Well, you want me to be transparent. So,
Because I'm telling you, there's people who are sitting back
yeah.
watching going, okay, where's Robert going with this?
Yes.
And let me also preface,
Yeah.
I've endorsed, I'm going to say 1.5 products in my career. So in
One and
29
a
years.
half? You said 1.5?
Yeah, because at one point, one of my friends came out with a liquid protein shake.
Okay. Okay.
And I recommended it, and it wasn't going in the direction that I wanted to be a part of. And not to get into details about that, but I pulled myself away from that. So openly and for a long time, I've endorsed a liquid collagen because I knew about it before it was a liquid. The product is still solid. It's a good product. But aside from that, this is the only other thing I'm endorsing.
Okay.
Okay. So now, how did Susie, what was in your mind when I first brought it to your attention?
Well, to be honest, I'm just really now learning about the benefits of omega-3. Within the last couple of months, if I'm being honest, and at first I really didn't get it. I really didn't get where you were going with this. And then the other thing that added to my confusion was the fact that this product we are able to offer this product through a direct sales company, direct sales network marketing. And so I think those two things really, there was like a fog around this whole movement that we're a part of now, which I'm 100% on board, and I completely get it now. But that was my initial reaction was, okay, where is Robert going with with this? So there it is.
Okay, well, I mean, you're a little hesitant,
Yeah.
and I get it because I mean, we teach people. Our business is
Yes.
coaching people on nutrition, real food, being more active, a lifestyle approach. And
Yes.
then I'm bringing up this product, and it just so happens the product's available through a network marketing company,
Yes.
which I became a partner with the company. You've now become a partner with the company.
Yes.
A large majority of the country has no idea about it. That will change in the next 3, 4, 5 years. And I believe this will be a legacy company because of what it does. You can't argue it. There's
Yeah.
no debate over it. It's that legit. And so when you have something that legit, the first thing you're thinking, like, oh man, I can't believe no one really knows about this.
Yeah.
And everybody needs it. You know what I
Yes.
mean? It's kind of like if everybody was dehydrated and they didn't know why they were dehydrated because they didn't know that drinking water was helpful, right? Now
All
this
right.
this is extreme, but
Yeah.
and what if
Elementary.
we are the only ones that know about the water?
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds kind of crazy when you say it like that, but it is that. It is exactly that. It's something that we are not getting. We're just plainly not getting in this country. Other countries, but in this country we are not getting enough of, and it's causing so many problems that we don't even know that that's a direct cause.
Right.
It's something we need. It's essential.
Now, so we're talking about omega-3, and some of you are going,
Yeah.
okay, fish oil. We are not talking about fish oil. We're talking about something that mirrors oily fish. So we're not talking about fish oil, and this is why. And this is my opinion. I know that 10% of all fish oil is rancid by the time you use it. That's not my opinion. That's surveys, reports that have come out over the years for quite a few years. We also know that most of them don't work on a cellular level. And how do we know they don't work? Because there's a test called an omega-3 index test. And if the product worked, it would show itself working when you do the test. So my mom used a product called Omega XL. And it's pretty popular product. It's a fish oil. And she was using it for 4 years. So I've never believed in this product. I never thought it was helping her. So we put it to the test. And the product failed. And then you had the experience with a physician
Yes.
who had been taking the same product, right?
Exactly, yes. And she was expecting her results to come back good. And hers was also not good. She was not good. And she was quite shocked that she didn't get the results she thought she was getting from Omega XL.
Right. And then I
Yeah.
have another client who was doing the same thing, taking Omega XL. And when we did the test, failed.
Right.
Now, the data is starting to come in to include my mom after taking the omega-3 that we make available. My mom passes.
That's
And
that's awesome.
as a result, she's seen and feels significant improvements when it comes to inflammation. And I'm
Yeah.
seeing that with a lot of people. People with dry eye, major improvements. And when you go to like the physician desk reference, or if you look it up on Google, you'll see study after study after study that supports the fact that omega-3 as a supplement will be very helpful for a lot of these conditions if it's a quality supplement. So I'll stop there.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, just with the last couple of months, family members, my mom's been taking it. My mom's got rheumatoid arthritis, and she was also not taking a quality supplement. She actually stopped taking it for a few months. She is like in love with this product. I mean, it's like we just talked on Sunday, and her pain's gone. Her like, she's like, my body was making all these, clicking noises everywhere in my joints, and she's like, that's gone. Her skin was looking like radiant. I'm like, Mom, your skin looks great. And she's like, I know. So she was like so excited. Um, and she's now sharing it with other people. My dad had he's having some vision challenges, and he was starting to use eye drops a lot. He even had to switch up to a more of a jelly kind of eye drop, and that one seemed to help a little bit. Well, we were just talking about this last week, and he was saying he's doing it maybe once a week, maybe. So I mean, and obviously he's taking the oil too. So I mean, this is just some of the stories. Like, I know they're gonna start pouring in, Robert, because as I'm talking to my clients, the ones that are taking the oil, I know that the stories are gonna just start pouring in. So I'm really excited about this.
Oh, it's a great addition. So
Yeah.
if you went back and let's say you were interviewing me in 1998.
Right.
In 1998, I had sat down to write my first weight loss related book. And I remember writing about omega-6 and omega-3, the ratios, right? So back then we were looking more at 4-to-1 or lower. We look at it as 3-to-1 or lower, meaning if you have on a cellular level in your body, the first number is for omega-6, so 3. The 1 would be omega-3, which would be like eating salmon or oily fish. So 3-to-1 or lower, that means that you're in a good place. You're less likely you're not deficient, right? You're sufficient. Yeah. Most people back then, we were saying were like 10 to 15-to-1, which would be horrible. And now we're seeing people that are 20, 25-to-1. The highest or the biggest gap I've seen was 83-to-1. Wow. 69-to-1 was Linda. Brett was 48-to-1. Whole bunch of people 50-something-to-1. And what we're seeing is that after 4 months of taking the omega-3, the oil, they're all in the green. That means they're under 3-to-1.
That's awesome. That tells you everything. That
Yeah,
tells
there's
you
nothing else. So if
Yeah.
someone was sitting back and they have inflammation, they have insulin resistance, they want to improve their skin, they're dealing with menstrual cramps, they have all of these symptoms, right? Which is a sign of being either deficient in omega-3 or insufficient with your omega-3, which is about 99% of the population in America and Canada.
Yeah.
This is something that everybody benefits from.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's like I almost feel like I was almost sad. Like when I finally got it, when me and you talk a lot. So when it finally hit me, it clicked. I'm like, now I'm sad. I didn't understand. I didn't understand how much we needed this, So.
Well, I've always known,
Yeah.
well, for over 20 years, how much we need it. And I remember at one point pushing fish on people, saying you need to eat salmon more often. You need to eat tuna more often. And then I remember there was a big pushback with the fish because people were saying, well, it's got a lot of lead or mercury in the fish. And so I'm not going to eat as much fish. And so then people stopped consuming it, even though there was a big push on it because of the omega-3. This is what you mean by, or how we benefit from supplementation. Because some people don't want to eat it. They don't like the smell of fish. Yes. They don't like the texture of fish. And if they've taken like a fish oil, they don't want to burp it up, and that it bothers them. This product, they did the work, because relative, there's no smell. There's no crazy taste. You don't burp up this fish smell, and you just benefit. It just becomes part of your life.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
And I think that's awesome too, because I have some of the people, I've talked to about this. They're like, well, if it smells like fish, I'm not going to do it. I don't like burping it up. I've tried that. I didn't like it. So yeah, the way that they made this is kind of amazing. Like, would you be able to explain a little bit more how this product really came about? Can we talk about that?
Yeah. So the way that most fish oils, when you get them in a gel or a capsule, what happens is they will, through a purification process, they will take the oil out of fish, hopefully small fish, and hopefully wild, like mackerel, sardines. And through the purification process, it gets stripped of a lot of other things to include polyphenols that naturally live and occur inside of fish. And polyphenols are like an antioxidant, and I'll come back to that. So then to help it not turn rancid, what these fish oil companies do is they tend to add vitamin E to it. So if you look at a fish oil product, you'll see vitamin E has been added.
Yes.
Sometimes it's synthetic, which has a association with various cancers, number one. And
Yes.
we've talked about that. And if they go with a natural vitamin E, which is rare, or even like coconut oil, some type of fat, to help it from going rancid, it tends to go rancid. And that's where you get the pushback and the smell. But on a functionality standpoint, that's why they don't work, because there's no polyphenols. So what these scientists discovered, or what they knew, and then they had to figure out how they're going to make it happen, was we know how to purify the oil, but how are we going to get polyphenols as part of this? Like, how are we going to fuse it with these polyphenols? So they worked out a deal because they knew that there's a significant amount of polyphenols inside of olives, especially when they're unripe. So they came up with a process where they could extract the polyphenols from unripe olives, which, if you think about that, you got to work out deals with farms, you got to work out locations, there's a whole bunch to this process. Very time consuming, a lot of money involved, etc. But they knew this would make all the difference. So once they got the polyphenols out, they fuse it with the oil, then you don't need vitamin E.
Right.
It helps it not turn rancid, and the polyphenols works as a chaperone that will carry the omega-3s to the tissues, to the cells, that will benefit to get these results that we know come from eating a lot of fish.
Right.
And so that's what it is. And polyphenols, when you eat a red bell pepper, a green bell pepper, where it gets that color, it's that's polyphenols. And those polyphenols act like antioxidants, same as like one of the big benefits of extra virgin olive oil. So that's what makes it very unique, and that's what makes it work. And so as a result of that, it's a win-win.
So without the polyphenols, what would happen to the oil?
Then it becomes like all the other fish oils that don't work.
Got it. Okay.
Yep. So
Okay.
that's what it is. So so today, you guys, our goal is not to, this is not an infomercial. Our goal is really just to kind of share what we're learning and what we're doing. And if it can help you, then great. Right. So we talked a little bit about the methodology. We talked about the importance of omega-3, very important for everybody. Kids are, mental health, depression, ADHD, these things all benefit, right, when you're not deficient in omega-3.
Absolutely.
And there's so many studies we could talk about, right?
Yes. There's so much to be said. Yeah, absolutely.
But let's talk about let's shift and talk a little bit about gallstones, gallbladder, because you had some ideas there. Let's see where that goes, and then we can wrap it up. And if there's any questions, we'll take any questions that you guys have.
Yes. Well, this really just came about because I got a little curious, and it's something that I have observed and just kind of always thought about since I was a little girl, because I would hear a lot about piedras en la vesícula, which is in Spanish, gallstones. And so I'm like, what the heck are gallstones? Growing up, like, what is that? And it just seems to be a very reoccurring issue in the Latino community. It's like it happens a lot. People get this all the time. Then they have their gallbladder removed. And so I'm just like, what's the deal with this? And I came to you wanting to understand it a little bit more. So that's where it all came from, and then I thought about the fact that it is more prevalent in the Hispanic culture. And it's like, okay, well, am I destined to just maybe one day get gallstones and have my gallbladder removed? It just, a lot of thoughts came to mind when I really like kind of dove into this topic. And so here we
Well,
are.
and so those of you, when we were listening, like there's a lot of us that walk around and we think things like, well, type 2 diabetes is in my family. So I got to be careful. Well, just because people in your family had type 2 diabetes or have type 2 diabetes does not mean you're destined to become a type 2 diabetic. What makes you more likely to become a type 2 diabetic would be the same as I was sharing with Susie earlier, a teenage woman having a kid as a 16-year-old, and then her kid having a kid as a 16-year-old, and then her kid having a kid as a 16-year-old, which I experienced in my family. That doesn't mean that the next generation is going to constantly get pregnant as a teenager, because we just broke that pathology.
Right.
I don't have the same eating habits as people in my family. So the conditions that they are dealing with, though many of them are challenged with the same health conditions, I'm not, because I don't eat the way they eat. My activity is different than theirs. I didn't take on those habits. So that is more of a determinant, in my opinion, than when someone says, what's in my family? Well, what's in your family are the habits that get passed from one generation to the next generation.
Yes.
So that's what I was sharing with Susie earlier. It's like, are you eating the same way your mom ate? Are you eating, or did they work out the way you work out? And I believe you said no.
No. So I'm definitely breaking some of those patterns and habits too, and so it definitely brought me a lot of comfort, knowing that after talking with you. But I'm thinking like, what can be done about it? Because again, I'm doing this, I'm a coach now because I want to help people. So the more that I can understand something, and what can be done about it to prevent things, I'm all about it. So and then I thought about, well, can omega 3 help, this, like, how does that come into play, right?
Well, gallbladder, there's a pathology to that, and gallstones that come about as a result of
Right.
gallbladder functionality. Your liver plays a huge role in all of this, right? And as we were talking, triglycerides, right, fat floating in the blood, play a huge role. But with most people having a fatty liver, then they're more inclined to have some gallbladder challenges because they're all tied into each other, right? So the liver not only takes fatty acids that's floating around, it makes its way to the liver, and it will store some of them, right? Use some of them for energy, etc., but store some of them. The liver, as it gets fattier, will actually create more fat. And if you have a fatty liver, it's threefold, meaning the liver will actually create 3 times more fat compared to someone who doesn't have a fatty liver. So now you start to see this cycle where it's like the more unhealthy you become, the harder it is to reverse things. Right? We even know that with type 2 diabetes. If someone finds out they're type 2 diabetic and they do something sooner than later, they are way more likely to reverse it compared to someone who becomes a type 2 diabetic and do nothing for 10 years.
Yes.
Right?
It is more challenging. Yes.
It's like there's people right now listening, they know they have a fatty liver, but they still don't do anything about it. And what they don't realize is that it's going to show up in other parts of their body unless they do something about it. So, like for instance, if the liver is overwhelmed because it's got all this fat, it's not able to release or detoxify the way it normally would. It's almost like a traffic jam. It gets jammed up, and so it can't do a lot of things that the body needs. And so other health conditions start to show up that are part of that whole pathology of having a problem with the fatty liver. And the sad part is that most doctors, I'm gonna say most, I believe practically almost all of them, most of them will, if you go in, they find out you have fatty liver, then they'll just say, well, if you lose some weight, eat a little bit better, They kind of leave it at that. And then,
Yes.
and because they're so nonchalant about it, then the person who finds out that they have fatty liver, they go, okay, so there's nothing to worry about. No, you're okay. Just, if you lose a couple pounds out, that'll help you out. Oh, okay. And then you leave and you're not even thinking about it.
Yes, that's true. That's
And
true.
and then 10 years goes by, you did nothing about it. It's become fattier. Then other things start to show up. Could be higher triglycerides, cholesterol levels can go up, kidney function starts to be have some problems. Now you're a type 2 diabetic. And if you're a type 2 diabetic, 1 in 3 type 2 diabetics will have high blood pressure. If you have high blood pressure, 1 to 3 of the people with high blood pressure will be a diabetic. If your cholesterol's up, they give you statins. Statins also play a big role in you becoming a diabetic later. You see what I mean? It's like, geez.
Yeah, everything's connected. That's how
Yep.
I keep thinking about this. Everything is connected.
And when you bring up the omega-3s, right? It's fat, but it's a fat that helps reduce fatty liver.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
That's awesome.
so anyone who has fatty liver, if you choose not to do anything, you're just going to eat the way you eat. You're going to be as active or not as active. But if you take a quality omega-3, it's going to help with your fatty liver. That's what all the studies say. The key is it quality? So then, Susie, how do we know it's quality?
Because we test.
And we don't guess. That's the difference. That's the difference.
You can't argue what's in the blood, what results say. Yeah.
Now, someone asked this question. Terry says, what if you have no gallbladder? So before you answer that and to give your thoughts on it, let me just say, Terry, I have a lot of clients that I coach that don't have a gallbladder. They live a normal, regular life. Just many of them have more of a challenge if they eat a lot of greasy, deep fried food, then they can have some intestinal challenges. But aside from that, no problem. And with a gallbladder, the omega-3, it still helps. Or eat more fish. You don't got to, if you don't, like I always tell, if you don't want to take the supplement, then eat more fish like they do in Japan. In Japan, they eat fish almost basically every day. So at breakfast, lunch, or dinner, they're eating it, sometimes multiple times. Most people in America and Canada don't want to eat fish like that. So when you don't want to do that, then you supplement.
Yep. Yeah, I think you just have to be real about how you're going to eat. How is this really going to play out? Because some of the conversations I've had with some people, it's like, no, I'm not going to eat more fish. I already know I'm not going to eat it. So it's like, how are you going to get that omega-3 in then? How are you going to, you have to supplement. So.
Amen.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully that helps, Terry. Anybody can reach out to Susie, reach out to me. If you want to do a free consultation with Susie, free consultation with me. If you want to learn more about the omega, or you just have questions. I have people all the time, Susie, and I know this happens with you. Part of our ministry and what we do is answer people's questions.
Right. Yeah.
We don't charge you to answer if you got basic questions. I'm here to help.
Yep. We guide. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. If I know something that can help you, I'm going to share it.
Yes.
Now, if you call me every day, then we got to have a conversation.
Yes.
I mean, don't call me every day. Don't take advantage of me. But if you send me emails or a text message or a message and I can quickly answer that, I will 100% do that.
Yes. Same here. Yeah.
All right. So anything else you want to talk about, Susie, before we say goodbye?
No, I just really appreciated our conversation this morning because, you can sometimes fall prey to, just what you see, what you hear online, what maybe the experiences that you grew up with. And so you think, man, I'm just prone to end up this way. And it's like, no, there's so much that can be done right? To prevent
Mm-hmm.
and to create health, like we talk about. So thank you for the conversation, and I'm just happy to be here, like I said.
Well,
So
thank you. So I'm going to share something with you that this doctor named Dr. O shared with me probably 23 years ago. And I've heard other people say it over the years, so I don't know if it was his, but he was a cardiologist, heart specialist, which is one of the big reasons why omega-3 everybody benefits from. And I don't know if you knew this, Susie, but in Japan, where they have a higher percentage of omega-3 in their body, they live their longevity is 5 years longer than Americans and Canadians.
wow.
Yeah, and they don't have the same health challenges that we have, from fibromyalgia, Hashimoto's, these autoimmune challenges, which if you look them up, those are also symptoms of a deficiency of omega-3.
Right.
The
They're
data, the
inflammatory,
data is
right?
clear. Yeah, data is
Yeah.
clear. But what he shared with me, he says your genetics may load the gun, but it's your lifestyle that pulls the trigger.
Ooh, I like that.
And I'll never forget that. This was around 2001, 2002. And I was sitting there, I went to this, they had a conference and I wanted to go and learn.
Mhm.
And so I'm in there, and it's mostly physicians, nurses, medical related people. But it made sense to me. I saw him in the newspaper. I was like, well, I want to better understand more about, the heart. I mean, it's the number one killer for Americans and Canadians, and most people around the world, is heart disease, right?
Yes.
So I went there to learn, and I learned a lot of things. I learned hypocrisy, because when I first walked in, they had a big old long table filled with cream cheese and bagels. And I was like, this is interesting. I think I even wrote that in one of my books. But he said that. He says, your genetics may load the gun, but it's your lifestyle that pulls the trigger. And many people, their lifestyle, because they don't know how to eat, our society is not set up to teach us or educate us how to eat. So you're guessing and going from one crazy diet to the next. But once you learn, as you work with your clients, and I've seen it over the years, people are empowered. They're
Yes.
empowered. And their big challenge is being around people that pull them off track, like husbands, wives, cousins, family members, because
Right.
they're not in the same funnel for lifestyle that they're in.
Yes.
So when people don't get it, they really don't get it. And they are constantly trying to pull you out of your funnel, your lifestyle, to make themselves feel better.
Yes. Yeah, they don't see what you see, and they don't sometimes value what you value, unfortunately. And then relationships are important to us, right? So a lot of times we'd rather keep the relationship than prioritize what we really value.
Ain't
Um
that the truth? A lot of people still married because of that, Susie. Somebody's at home going, he's talking to me. So Tasha, who I love, Tasha's one of my clients, and Tasha just posted, she says, how long does it take to reverse a fatty liver? And so someone that I helped reverse her fatty liver, Susie.
Mm-hmm.
You know who I'm
Yes.
talking about?
Yeah. Talking about Trudy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm so proud of Trudy because she stayed the course. And I'll never forget, everything in me said, I don't think you have fatty liver anymore. And she was going to have to wait 3 or 4 months before she could see her doctor because this person was so busy. But after we hung up, she actually made an appointment. Somehow she got in to see her. They did the ultrasound. No more fatty liver.
That's awesome.
I mean, I jumped up and down.
Yes.
So, you know what? Tasha, there's no way to predict how fast you can do it. So I'm going to say, if I had to give an answer, I'm going to say somewhere between 3 months to 15 months. I believe practically most people could totally get rid of their fatty liver. Like, you could still be overweight, right? And reverse your fatty liver. It just all depends on how a person's eating, how consistent they are. But do the things that, like Tasha, she just started the omega-3.
Okay.
And I know in my heart of hearts that is a supplement that is going to help her. I know it. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm saying, hey, go buy a multivitamin. This is not that.
Yes.
Like, I can't find a study that says it wouldn't be helpful to her.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So I've never seen anything. I've never seen a supplement ever. I've never, ever. I mean, I have certifications on supplementation. I know the history of stuff. I know when deregulation, I get it. And I've never seen a supplement that can help as many people as this one supplement can.
That says a lot, Robert.
Yeah. And if I'm wrong, I mean, I can't wait to be proven right. There's a gun and a dun and dun.
Oh my goodness.
Now I was trying to think of the words to that song. What is it? What's the saying? Maybe it's the saying I'm thinking of. Like, there's a right way to love somebody, or maybe that's not what I'm thinking. I'm thinking.
Well, it sounded good.
There's a right way and the wrong way. Somebody help me out, because I forgot the song, but I can hear it. I just don't know the name of it. There's always songs playing in my mind. You know what I mean? Okay, let's see what got. Terry says, "Thank you, Susie and Robert, for getting me started on a healthy life. 6 days in, awesome. Way to go,
That's Terry. Hi, Terry. She's my client.
All right, Terry. Way to make it happen and way to catch us.
Yeah.
Okay, we got Sherry. What's up, Sherry? She says, "What omega-3 supplement would you recommend?" Baby, there's only one.
You need to get with us. You need to get with us, Sherry.
Yeah. Now send me an email, Sherry, or message me, and I will tell you exactly which one, and I'll tell you all about it. I've never seen anything like this. And I remember, Susie, the only reason you haven't heard me promote a fish oil because I've never believed that they work.
But you were right. I mean, look at your mom's story.
Yeah, I mean, right. It just never made sense. It never made sense. And that's why, like, I'm so excited because I could actually recommend something. And you know what? I'll end on this. Because we should do, when next time you and I do a talk, I'll share my whole story about the Omega search.
Okay.
Because there is a company, I'm not going to mention their name, right before the pandemic was starting, or right when it was happening, like early on, 3-4 years ago, I had a lady approach me who has a company that she works with, and she's been with them forever. And she made a comment to me, and it was about Omega. Somehow it came up. I said, "Do you have literature? Do you have studies that support that your Omega is the real deal?" She goes, "Oh, absolutely." I was like, "If that's true, there's a whole bunch of people I want them to know about it. Now, if I can make money, great. But if there's a real legit product," I'm surprised I never told you this story.
No.
So I was so committed and was hoping it was real. I paid her money and signed up to be a distributor for this company. Because I was like, I don't want to waste her time. She's giving me time. She set me up. I talked to their medical director. I talked to the heads of whatever. And it's a very popular company. It's been around for a while. So I'll share that company when we do our next time. I will. I mean, it's the truth. I'm just telling the truth. So I met them all. They sent me all their abstracts. I ended up buying some of the studies. And then I got them on the phone. I said, "Guys, this is not real." I said, "I can't do it." And so I didn't do it. So if I just wanted to make money, on the surface, it looked like something I could totally get behind. But when we went over the studies and I had the meetings with them, I was like, "Guys, this is not real.
This ain't it."
Nope. And thank God, I mean, you know what? And trust me, I was like, man, it would be so great to have a product that I could recommend because I know the importance of it. So then for Nancy to tell me about this company, and then I got to meet with the president of North America. I got to meet with the founder of the company, the fact that they're publicly traded, they do very well in Norway. And then I got to like see it work. I got to talk to the scientists and see all the literature. That's legit real. That's why it's a no-brainer for me.
Yeah, it makes sense, Robert.
So
yeah, and I'm grateful you did now.
all right, well, let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving, everybody.
All
All right.
right.
Well, thank you very much, Susie. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Robert, for having me on. And thank you guys for listening and tuning in. But yeah, please reach out to us. Again, any questions or if you want to just schedule time to talk, there's a link on my website to do that. Just schedule a free consultation and we'll talk about anything you want to talk about.
That's right. And all the guys out there, Susie will talk to you. Just send her a message.
Oh my God.
She will talk to you when you can't sleep at night. She'll get on the phone and be like, how you doing? Okay, for those of you who don't know me well, to include your client, Terry, I'm just playing. Susie would never do that. All right, you guys. Until the next one.
Bye, everyone.
All right, bye-bye. And let's do it.